I was born in Delaware, in a little town called Clayton, Clayton, and had kind of an ordinary childhood. I had one sister, and we had nothing in common.
Okay. How many years apart? You and your
4.
sister? 4 years apart.
Yeah,
Cool.
and she's no longer living.
Okay. How does it like growing up around there?
I liked it. I was kind of a tomboy, and I had one special girlfriend. There was one time when she was walking to school, and not with me. I had already gone. She got in front of my house, and a bird did its business on her head, and she was about to freak out. And my house was right there. She knocked on the door. My mother saw what the problem was and took her in and washed her hair.
Oh my God.
And dried it and wrote a note to the teacher saying why Janet was late for school that day.
That's sweet.
I love
your
that
mom.
little story.
That's so cute.
My husband Bert and I got married on August the 17th, 1944. I was 19 and he was 5 years older at the time, but pretty soon he would be 26. And we had a church wedding at the Methodist Church, and I guess you would call it semi-formal. I had Janet, my best friend, as my maid of honor, and Bert had his brother, which has a terrible name. It's Gamaliel. And I don't know what his mother had against him, but he was the best man, and it was kind of nice. I remember standing at the back of the church, and it was filled up. There must have been 500 people there. And near the back was my Girl Scout troop. And they turned around and waved at me, and I waved back while I was waiting to go down the aisle. And it was kind of nice to have them there because I was Girl Scout. Both of my kids are planned. The first one was born 5 years after we were married, and the second one a year and a half after that. I would like to have had twins, but since we didn't have twins, I wanted them close together, and that didn't work out. They are very different, like my sister and I, and but having kids is definitely a miracle, definitely. And we put all of our energy into raising these kids. There was a time when Bob was about 13, I think, and he said to his father, "I want to make a violin." Well, whose father knows how to make a violin? But Bob's father found a man in a small town way in the southern part of Phoenix that made violins. He contacted him, and for weeks and weeks and weeks on Saturdays, Bert would take Bob down and he would get instructions on how to make a violin. My most favorite job was with the new Dick Van Dyke Show. It was filmed on the desert south of Carefree, Arizona, and north of Scottsdale. And so I got tickets for my husband and me to go see it. And when we went out, I said to him, "That's what I want to do. I want to work on this show." And I didn't much care what kind of a job I got, just so I got to work on it. And so I made a phone call from the lawyer's office where I was working and got an appointment for an interview, and I got the job of assistant to the script supervisor, and that was fun. I got to watch the actors rehearse all week, and it was like a little miracle the way it came together. The turning point in my life was after the boys got done with their schooling, and I could say, "Yay, free at last!" And then I could go on my educational kick and take all the education that I wanted to, and did night schools and just had thousands of interests. And that was the turning point. Now,
Art?
yes, I would like to talk about my art. I had a lot of experience in galleries, and we put our art in the hallways of Carefree Inn, and I went the regular route in painting. I painted oils and watercolor and drawing and life drawing and photography and cinematography, and that's a lot to remember for an old lady like me.
By the way, how old are you?
I'm 93.
You're 93. Great.
I like people that go for what they want, and I heard somebody say, if you want to be an artist, be an artist. And if you want it bad enough, you will do it. I don't know that aging gracefully can be planned. I think I'm aging just the way it was intended. I just try to handle what comes along. And old age really isn't much fun. Your world shrinks, and it's just smaller and smaller. You don't have a car to go get something you want at the store. You don't go out after 4 o'clock. You don't do a lot of things, and you just take it. But one thing is that I am living in a place that's very nice, and I appreciate it. And I also am glad to be here for medical attention. That's very important. You don't want to be in a little old house by yourself and get sick. And that's how I've taken care of that. I've moved here.
You enjoy living here?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a great place. It's beautiful.
Oh, the view is great, just lovely. I don't know if you've had time to look.
There in your window, this is really magnificent.